My fiancée never wore her engagement ring to work. When I asked, she coolly said, "It's not professional. I don't owe anyone my relationship status." I let it go, until one of her coworkers emailed me a group photo titled, "Office's Favorite Single Girl." That's when the cracks started to show. I didn't say anything, not at first. But 3 days later, I made one move that blew everything apart. Now she's jobless, broke, and blowing up my phone, begging for help. Funny thing is, you'd think a man would notice when his fiancée isn't wearing the $18,500 ring he saved 2 years to buy. But Martha was slick. Every morning, she'd take it off before leaving, stash it in her purse, then slip it back on the second she got home. I didn't catch it, until I surprised her at lunch one day with her favorite sandwich. And there it was. A bare finger. "Where's your ring?" I asked, setting her meal down. She froze, glanced at her hand, then back at me. "I don't wear it to work." "Since when?" "Since always, James." She unwrapped her sandwich, eyes avoiding mine. "Never worn it to work? In 7 months of engagement?" "It's not professional," she said flatly, waving her naked hand. "Honestly, I don't owe anyone my relationship status. It's easier this way." I dropped it, didn't want to come off insecure or controlling. But the thought gnawed at me. That night, while she cooked dinner, I brought it up again. "Didn't know your office was that old school about jewelry. Kinda weird in 2023. Martha sighed, dropped her knife. "James, you're overthinking. Lots of women don't wear rings at work. Changes how guys treat you. It's my choice." "Sure, I respect that. Just wish you'd mentioned it." She rolled her eyes. "Do I need to report every earring I leave at home too?" Conversation over. I felt silly, slightly ticked, but I moved on. Or so I thought. 2 weeks later, I saw Keith's Instagram post. Happy hour with her coworkers. Martha front and center, cocktail in hand, giggling. Caption: Thursday drinks with the team. Office's favorite single girl showing us how it's done. #workfamily #thirsty Thursday #single girl. Those last 2 words hit like a truck. Single girl. I zoomed in, her left hand, wrapped around the glass. No ring. This wasn't about professionalism. This was about presenting herself as available. She came home that night, ring back on, kissed me like everything was fine. I didn't confront her. I watched. Waited. Next morning, same routine. Ring off. Purse pocket. "Have a great day, babe." I sat at the kitchen counter for hours. We'd been together 3 years, lived together for 2. I thought I knew her. Now I wasn't sure I knew anything. That afternoon, I called my buddy Eric, works in the same field as Martha. Told him the story. "Man, that's not normal," he said. "Plenty of married women in consulting. Nobody hides rings in 2023. This isn't 1962. That's what I thought. Look, I don't want to plant ideas, but you might want to dig deeper." I didn't need more encouragement. That evening, while Martha showered, I crossed a line. I checked her phone. Never done it before, but the trust was cracked. What I found shattered it. A second Instagram account. A Tinder profile, active last week. Texts with guys, including Keith. Not just acting single. She was single. At least, when I wasn't around. I screenshotted everything, emailed it to myself, put her phone back exactly as it was. When she came out, I acted normal. For 2 days, I said nothing, cold fury brewing. Every evening she'd come home, ring on, kiss me, smile, ask about my day. I smiled back, all while plotting. On the 3rd day, I made my move. Waited till she left, ring in purse, and packed my essentials into my truck. Then I hit the bank. See, I'd been saving $42,000 for our wedding, venue, catering, honeymoon. Martha knew about the account but didn't have access. What she didn't know, I'd quietly added her name last month. Was going to surprise her at dinner, tell her she could book anything she wanted. Instead, I closed the account. Moved every dollar back into my private one. Then I drove to my buddy Mark's lake cottage, my hideout. At 2:17 p.m., the messages started. "James, what the hell? Venue says payment bounced. Bank says account is closed. Answer me." I didn't respond. Watched the messages pile up. By sunset, her tone cracked. Please talk to me. Whatever you think is happening, we can fix this. I love you. Please. Next day, she must have gone home at lunch. Saw my stuff was gone. Now the panic hit. You moved out? Without talking to me? You can't throw away 3 years like this. Please, James, we can work it out. I stayed silent. Just saved every message. Then came the kicker. Oh God, did someone tell you? Is this about work? I can explain, I swear it's not what it looks like. That night, I ended my silence. Sent her 4 things. Screenshot of Keith's Instagram post, screenshot of her Tinder profile, screenshot of her text to Keith saying I had no clue, photo of my empty ring box, no words. Just proof. Her response was instant. Calls, texts, emails. She showed up at the apartment, which I'd paid 3 months ahead before removing my name from the lease. She couldn't find me. She called my friends, family, even my boss, crying, begging. But no one knew. Only Mark did, and he'd rather die than give me up. 3 days later, her texts turned desperate. My credit cards are maxed. I can't even buy food. I was counting on the joint account for rent. I'm scared. Please, James. Keith said they're letting me go. Someone sent HR the screenshots. Was it you? How could you ruin me like this? My parents won't talk to me. What did you tell them? For the record, I sent nothing to HR or her folks. Didn't have to. Keith, in a panic, confessed to their supervisor to cover his own ass. As for her parents, they figured it out when she called them in hysterics about the emptied wedding fund. Her dad called me. I answered. When I laid out the facts, showed him the proof, he just sighed. And said, her dad sighed and said, she's always been her own worst enemy. I'm sorry, son. It's been 2 weeks now. I've moved into a new flat, filed for a clean break. Luckily, we weren't married yet, just dividing up what little we shared. I kept the furniture I brought in, she kept the things we bought together. Fair is fair. And the ring? Still sitting in my truck's glove compartment. Part of me wants to sell it, cut my losses. The other part wants to remember that even someone who gazes at you with tears when saying yes might be living a double life. Last night, I finally picked up one of her calls. Not from weakness, just to end it. What do you want, Martha? She broke down. I need help, James. They're threatening eviction. My cards are maxed out. I have no one else. You had me, I said quietly. A man who loved you enough to buy you a ring you never wore, saved for a wedding you never planned. And you threw that away. Those are your choices, not mine. I made a terrible mistake, she sobbed. We can fix this. There is no us anymore, Martha. Fix it yourself. I hung up, blocked her number, then poured myself 2 fingers of whiskey and let the peace settle. The worst part of betrayal isn't the lies, they're loud. It's the truth they quietly reveal about themselves. Martha's actions said more than her words ever could. And I believed her. Walking away, locking the door behind you. That's the real confrontation. Update. A week later. Didn't expect this post to blow up, but thank you for the support and awards. Lots of people asked for an update, so here's where things stand now. Yes, I tracked every dollar I put into the condo and wedding fund. No, she can't sue me over the money. I consulted my lawyer before pulling it. Yes, the ring is legally mine. In my state, engagement rings are conditional gifts. Her cheating ended that condition. After I blocked her, Martha moved to social media, painting herself as the victim, saying I drained our wedding fund and left her penniless. Some mutuals bought her story, until I showed them the receipts. Facts don't lie. But the real plot twist? Keith's wife. Yeah, turns out he had one. She reached out to me on Facebook, thanked me for exposing the affair. Keith had been feeding both Martha and his wife the same lines about being trapped in an unhappy marriage. When the fallout hit, his wife found out about Martha, and a string of other women. She filed for divorce, moved the kids back in with her parents. Martha's financial situation? Murky. Word is, she's back living with her folks. Her dad, who I always respected, called again to apologize. Said they'd spent years enabling her behavior. Maybe this is the wake-up call she needs, he told me. In all the mess, I appreciated his honesty. Sold the ring yesterday. Took a 30% hit on what I paid, but it was worth every penny to close that chapter. Used part of the cash to book a solo trip to Montana. Always wanted to try fly fishing. My new apartment? Coming together. Simple. Clean. Mine. Reconnected with old friends I'd let slide during my time with Martha. Funny thing. Turns out she gradually cut me off from people. A buddy roped me into joining his boxing gym. Hitting the heavy bag 3 times a week? Best therapy I've found. Sleeping better. Thinking sharper. To those saying I exposed Martha out of spite, no. I didn't send screenshots to her job or torch her online. I walked out of a fake relationship and let the truth catch up to her. The dominoes fell on their own. Hardest part? Trusting my own judgment again. I keep asking myself, how did I miss the signs? My therapist, I started seeing one, says, we see what we want to see, until reality won't let us ignore it. He's right. And to the guy who said I should have confronted her like a man. Buddy, confrontations are for people who deserve an explanation. You owe no play-by-play to someone who's been running a parallel life behind your back. I'm not angry anymore, just clearer. At 39, I thought I'd be married with kids. Instead, I'm starting over. But for the first time in years, I'm making decisions based on me, not someone else's lies. And that's freedom worth protecting. Update. 3 months later. Didn't plan on posting again, but folks keep asking, so here's the final update. Martha's parents eventually set conditions. Therapy, job hunt, rehab. Her younger sister messaged me. Turns out Martha's been diagnosed with narcissistic traits and is finally in treatment. Not my circus, not my monkeys. But I hope she finds peace. Keith? His divorce is getting ugly. His wife's lawyer contacted me. I gave dates, texts, proof. No commentary, just facts. Turns out, Keith violated a key non-disclosure in his prenup by talking about his marriage with Martha. Now that's karma. His ex even sent me a thank you card. Me? Life's steadier now. That Montana fly fishing trip? Game changer. A week in the mountains with no cell service. I came back feeling me again. Boxing's now a staple. Dropped 15 pounds of relationship stress and rediscovered my old frame from my early 30s. Work's thriving. Got promoted last month. Could have happened anyway, but cutting out Martha's constant chaos? Definitely helped. Dating? Not yet. I've had chances, but I'm taking it slow. My therapist says that's healthy. For once, I'm listening. Money from the ring? Covered Montana and funded a photography class I'd always wanted. Turns out, I'm pretty good at landscape shots. It's my new weekend hobby, keeps me outdoors and focused. Funny twist. Ran into Martha at the grocery store last week. First time since everything went down. She looked different, thinner, no makeup, quieter. She approached carefully, asked if we could talk. I told her, glad you're getting help. But no need to reopen old wounds. She nodded. Then, as I turned to leave, she said, I never deserved the ring. Not because of what I did, but because I never understood what it meant. For once, we agreed. So, that's it. My final post. Thank you, sincerely, to everyone who supported me through the darkest stretch of my life. Your words made me feel seen and sane. If you're in a similar place, trust your gut. Document everything. And remember, how you handle betrayal defines you far more than their lies ever will. Life moves on, sometimes, in better ways than you could have imagined. Edit. Financial note. Lots asked about the money. Quick answer. The wedding fund was in my name until a month before everything blew up. I added her as beneficiary, not joint owner. She never contributed. My lawyer confirmed she had zero claim. I was fully within my legal rights. Whether it was kind, that's subjective. But it was completely lawful. For the person asking what triggered the collapse, it was me closing the wedding account. Martha had already placed multiple non-refundable deposits with vendors, assuming she had free access to the money. When the account got shut down, payments bounced. Vendors called her, and her entire house of cards came crashing down. I didn't expose her double life on purpose. I just stopped funding it. The truth did the rest. Reading some of these comments has been eye-opening. Are you seriously suggesting I should have kept financially supporting her after she betrayed me? Would you keep bankrolling the lifestyle of someone who was knowingly lying to your face? Respect goes both ways. When she chose to play single while living off the financial security of our engagement, she forfeited any claim to my help. You reap what you sow. Thanks for watching and diving into this wild family drama with me. If you love Reddit family sagas, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell, so you never miss the next one.